I no longer fry zucchini. This is simpler, lighter, and so much tastier. It's become my go-to on busy evenings when I'm craving something warm and comforting, but still healthy. And there's a little unexpected surprise in this recipe that you wouldn't expect, but we'll get to that in a minute. Hi friends, I'm Adelina. Let's cook together. We'll start with 3 zucchini. Cut them in half, peel off the skin carefully, and scoop out the middle with a spoon. Save the soft flesh. We'll need it for the filling. We're turning these into little boats, and trust me, the flavor combination at the end will surprise you. Let me know in the comments. What's the most unexpected ingredient you've used in a savory dish? Place the zucchini boats on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Drizzle with olive oil, sprinkle with salt, paprika, dried garlic, and a bit of dried dill. You can also try oregano, thyme, or even curry powder if you like to play with flavors. And if you're enjoying this so far, tap that like button. It really helps support my channel and keeps the recipes coming. Sometimes I make a spicier version for my husband and a milder one for the kids. Same tray, different vibes. I love cooking with zucchini because they're so light and versatile. And they soak up all the flavor you give them. Now take a brush and gently spread the oil and spices all over the inside of each zucchini. Make sure it gets into every little curve. This helps them soak up all the flavor while baking. Sometimes I do this with my fingers if I can't find the brush. No shame in hands-on cooking. It's a small step, but it makes a big difference in taste and texture. Go ahead and place the pan in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. I'll be here while you are doing that. And if you are cooking along with me, holler in the comments. Okay, while they are softening, let's chop the onions for the filling. Add a little olive oil to your pan and let it warm up over medium heat. If you don't have olive oil, you can use sunflower oil or even coconut oil. It gives a subtle, slightly sweet touch. Once it's warm, add the chopped onion and stir gently. You'll hear that soft sizzle. I always love that moment when cooking really begins. And tell me, where are you watching from today? I'd love to know. Now take 4 cloves of garlic, give them a quick chop, and add them straight to the pan. Stir everything together so the flavors start to blend. Garlic isn't just for taste, it's also great for the immune system, especially during the colder months. But if you're not a fan, feel free to skip it. Now add your mushrooms to the pan. Any kind will do, just slice them up and toss them in. Give everything a good stir, so the mushrooms soak up all those tasty juices. They'll shrink down as they cook, so don't worry if it looks like a lot. At first I'm using button mushrooms today, but sometimes I mix in shiitake for extra flavor. Depends on what I have in the fridge. Last week my daughter said they looked like little umbrellas, and now I can't unsee it. Time to season. Add a pinch of salt and a bit more dried garlic to boost the flavor. You can also add black pepper or your favorite herb blend, if you like. Sometimes I sprinkle in a touch of smoked paprika. It gives a warm, earthy kick. Feel free to adjust it to your taste. This part's all about what you enjoy. While the mushrooms are cooking, take the zucchini flesh we saved earlier and give it a rough chop. It doesn't need to be perfect, just small enough to cook quickly. I like using everything when I cook. It feels good not to waste anything. Do you usually use the insides of zucchini or toss them? Now add the chopped zucchini flesh to the pan and mix it in with the mushrooms and onions. Let it cook for a few minutes until everything softens and blends together. It's amazing how something you might normally throw out turns into part of a delicious dinner. And hey, using what you already have at home saves you a few extra dollars too, which is always a win. While the veggies are cooking, grate a bit of cheese. Just enough to sprinkle on top later. Something that melts easily works best. I usually do this while watching the pan. It's that classic kitchen multitasking. Then open a can of pineapple and measure out about 200 grams or 7 ounces. If the chunks are big, give them a quick chop. Sweet and savory is a surprising combo, but it works beautifully. Mix the veggies one last time, then pour everything into a clear glass bowl. There's something satisfying about seeing all those layers and colors. It makes the dish feel extra inviting. Now add the pineapple to the bowl with the warm veggies and give everything a good mix. The sweetness blends right in. Not too much, just enough to make each bite a little special. Have you ever tried fruit in a savory dish like this? Now take your baked zucchini halves and fill each one with that beautiful veggie and pineapple mix. Spoon it in generously. No one likes an empty zucchini. Then sprinkle the tops with the grated cheese we prepared earlier. And if you're enjoying this recipe, don't forget to hit that like button. Pop the tray back into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for another 15 minutes, just until the tops are golden and bubbly. And as it bakes, the smell in the kitchen is just incredible. Sweet, savory, warm. Dinner's almost ready, and while it finishes up, let me show you a second zucchini recipe that's even easier. Just look at these zucchinis. Golden on top, tender inside, and bursting with flavor. That touch of pineapple really brings it all together. Sweet, savory, and just a little unexpected. I hope you give it a try and let me know how it turned out. Take 3 zucchinis and slice them into rounds, but not too thin, so they stay juicy on the inside. Add some olive oil in a pan and warm, then sauté the zucchini. Sauté with medium-high heat until they are golden and start to soften. Stir them every now and then so they are cooked well on both sides. This simple method unlocks their natural sweetness and is complemented by almost everything. By the way, this is actually a very typical method to prepare zucchini in Spain. Meanwhile, go ahead and chop 5 cloves of garlic into very fine pieces. No need to be fancy here, just a pretty little dice. Give the zucchini a quick stir so they brown evenly. Next, sprinkle a bit of salt in there. Easy, but it definitely makes their flavor pop. I came across this recipe for the first time at a small Spanish restaurant. A few tables, handwritten menu, and the smell of garlic in the air. The owner replied it's one of their simplest dishes, yet a long-time guest favorite. Since then, I've made it at home so many times, and every time it reminds me of that cozy little spot. Add a pinch of paprika, a dash of dried basil, and then blend in the minced garlic. These 3 add warmth, aroma, and that comforting flavor that zucchini is anything but boring. Now throw in the garlic. This is what truly gives it that Spanish flavor. Stir it in gently and let the smell permeate your kitchen. It's simple, but it puts the whole dish in perspective. While the zucchini are cooking, let us ready a quick and creamy sauce. Combine 2 teaspoons of Greek yogurt or sour cream, 2 teaspoons of mayo, and a teaspoon of mustard in a tiny bowl. Squeeze over a pinch of dried dill. It adds a fresh, herby taste that breaks through the richness. This sauce takes only about a minute or so to blend, but it actually brings everything together. My kids like to dip zucchini in it, and quite honestly, so do I. While I stir the zucchini, don't forget to subscribe, so you won't have to search for this channel next time. Chop up some fresh parsley. It adds color and that final burst of freshness. Sprinkle it right over the hot zucchini, and you're done. They're soft, golden, and full of flavor. This is one of those recipes that looks simple but tastes amazing. Just before serving, squeeze in the juice of half a lemon. It brightens everything and adds a nice little kick. There's a thing in that citrus finish that always reminds me of Spain. Simple flavors, perfectly executed. If your kitchen smells as good as mine right now, that's your cue. Go ahead and tap like and subscribe. Not just for me, but so you can always come back to these easy feel-good recipes without searching. Thank you for being here, for your time and your kind support. See you very soon with something new, something simple, and something delicious.